Start.
So this is basically a demonstration of whatever is going on in the world. At the top, we have the people who control the world and its order. The world order starts from the World Economic Forum, which is basically an organization of global elites who retain control through money and influence. The money is basically controlled by what I have known is by Rothschild and the Rockefellers, which have generational control over wealth, inherited control. We have control over legalities by politicians. A number of politicians are lizard people who would know, who are known as extraterrestrials and are shapeshifters, whom we cannot really identify. The plan really is not that uncovered, but not much of it is hidden. The part that is hidden is named as the unknown. The name basically says it. We don't know anything about it. And right now, the age in which we are going into, the evolution is towards robots and AI, and robots and AI can be controlled by buttons, and the remote will be in the hands of the people who control the world.
But so, AI is taking over and they are basically trying to control humans. They are getting their own brain.
That's the problem. That's why we have the possibility of AI going rogue and becoming Ultron. So, two dangers.
We don't have an Iron Man to save us.
Alright, so right now, the law is controlled. Laws are made by people whom you don't get to vote. They are voted inside cabinets that you don't have access to. And so, end line is you don't have control over the people who have control over you. Going ahead, that's why money is being printed endlessly, and that's leading to inflation, continuous money printing, which will ultimately lead to the collapse of currency. And then they will come up with their solution, that is introducing CBDCs, digital currencies, which will again have complete control through buttons, and the buttons will be in the hands of the people having control over the world. Now, how will they use digital currencies? First, the currencies will be set to a time limit, so you will be able to purchase only from time to time, and it can be made expirable. So if you purchase within these days, only then can you purchase, otherwise it vanishes.
मतलब पैसा जबरदस्ती खर्चा करना पड़ेगा ही ताकि
Exactly. That's common sense. Number 2, you will be limited to purchasing certain things. You can purchase this thing, you can't purchase that thing, because this currency is under control. That is what we are allowing you to purchase, and we want you to be a good citizen, and this is a law because they have control over politicians, because they have control over money through the Rothschild and the Rockefellers. So that's how CBDCs will be used. Climate change. Climate change is being used to just charge you more and more of taxes and limit.
Climate change is being used. We can see the climate change. Like, look, the winter used to set in before October, before till September, half of September. But now look, it is November already, and we aren't even wearing full.
That's weather changing. Have you looked to the charts for almost 3 generations? No, you haven't. How does it go in a flow in 3 generations? You're just looking it at within 15 years.
So the weather change is normal, but others are charging money for it, saying that it is abnormal.
No, they are not charging money saying that it's abnormal. They are charging that taxes. The sun is getting hotter and you need to pay more taxes so that we can do bullshit, fire snow at the sun. Yes, that's basically what they have said, and so that we can cool it down.
Oh, we can throw snow at sun. What a piece of bullshit.
And we have to reduce carbon emission. I will come to the carbon part later. First, let's get over the heat and the climate change. And basically, you don't need to ask me. Go ask that girl with the little weird face, Greta Thunberg. She will tell you that the climate is changing and you really need to gear up and pay more taxes so that we can cool down the sun. Which is really not going to happen. They will just centralize all that money and it will go into the pockets of the Rothschild. Now, I won't go into explaining money flow, but let's move on. We got taxes. Taxes is rigged. Basically, the poor are getting poorer, the rich are getting richer.
Says who? The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting richer, but the middle class family is getting poorer.
There is no middle class, there is only rich and poor. Let me explain.
What are we?
On a different frame. We are poor. We are getting poorer. You can basically understand who is what by analyzing whether the person is getting richer or poor. That's what it is. Will this work on this? So, this is money.
Okay.
This is the poor man. This is the rich man.
But the government is providing poor people.
No, the government is providing shit. The government is providing only a percentage to keep their game going so that it does not fall off. Now, suppose a simple explanation: the rich create businesses. The business creates product. Who purchases these products? Because these are low margin products. These products are purchased by the poor. The money goes into the pockets of the rich people. Now, the rich escape taxes. So this money goes into the pocket and never comes out until the rich decides to donate it. Alright. The government
What is exactly taxes?
Taxes is just a percentage of your money being taken away from you by a law that you never voted for.
And that is compulsory, right?
Yes.
So how can the rich not pay tax?
There are legal loopholes. An example: a corporation is taxed only what is left after spending the entirety of what it earns. And if a corporation is basically just a registered document under a legal entity, and you do that, you spend all of your money and you will be taxed zero because all your money is gone. And the rich,
what if they are not spending? They are just hiding it and saying that we spent it so they cannot.
That's what they do, but they don't hide it like in storage rooms. The storage room is the hideout. They buy storage rooms, they buy houses, assets, they invest it in assets. Assets appreciate in value, so the money that they got, they're again using it to get more money. That's how the rich employ money to get more money. So the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and to fill the hole, the government is going on to print more and more of money and giving it to the poor in names of welfare. And again, the poor is also in a lot of debt. So there's this big hole and it's going to collapse sooner or later. And then the introduction of CBDCs. Let's turn this over just a second. I hope that this. Next up, we have electric grids coming up. That is, your cars, like your transportation, will be electrified. Electricity can be controlled through buttons. The button theory. Buttons are controlled by WEF, the elites.
Yeah, because they are saying the petrol and all are getting finished and
no.
Petrol
like is not getting finished, and petrol is not formed by compression and whatever they are saying. The earth is
the thing that you learned in geography.
Yes.
Decomposed material.
That's bullshit. And remember, in geography, it was never wrote that it is found to be made by the process that they describe. It was written, it is believed that it was formed by years of whatever they say. because that's bullshit.
Yes.
But they exclusively mention there. It's believed. It's not known. No research, just a belief. Alright, let's move on. The petrol is not a problem. The problem is with electricity, because electricity is not reducing carbon emissions and carbon footprints. It's increasing it, because the lithium cobalt batteries that are being produced are being mined at a high rate, and mining of these metals, non-metals, is a really polluting cause in the world. Mining is a really polluting thing, and mining of these metals is an even more polluting. You can go into the science later on. And these metals are being mined at a high rate, because batteries need to be produced at a high rate to run electric vehicles or all electrical appliances that run on charge. So your phone, the one you are holding, your laptop, all your electrical appliances, everything comes down to the chain of mining. And
तुम कभी देखा, तुम फोन ऑन करो कैमरा ब्लॉक करके तो तुमको तुरंत फोन ही नहीं खोलने देता है, अपना फिंगर रिमूव करने बोलता है यहाँ से. Every 3 to 4 seconds there is this red dot. I don't know if you have seen the videos. It's like a picture of you every 3 to 4 seconds.
That is happening. But you can detect it using infrared detectors only.
Yes.
It is not visible to. It is not visible light, so it's not visible to you.
What about the growing population?
The growing population is not a problem, because right now we are able to count the population, so we know that there is such a lot of population. And on top of that, people know that the population is growing. People are educated about it. Back in the day, when there was no education about
what
it,
about rural area? They give birth.
Let me complete. Then people didn't even knew about any of this. Then we didn't even have a count of how much the population was, and still the world was thriving.
Yeah.
That's because the earth is not round. It's made to. You are made to believe it to be round, so that you have a limited vision of the resources and what the earth has to offer to you. It's an infinite line mass. It's an organism of sorts. So, moving on, another thing, back in the day, there used to be wars, and in wars people were killed. So the population was constantly on the increase and decrease. There was a regular stability, but now there is nothing of that sort, and so the geeks, the nerds, the useless people are just sitting around and eating on our resources, and so they are here to stay, and that is what is increasing the population all the more. These are the two possible analytical outcomes that I can see of it. You may continue.
Okay, you may continue.
Alright. So your transportation is controlled. You are in now. What is a concentration camp? A concentration camp is basically, earlier there were wild boars in Africa, and they used to roam the whole country, planting whatever they want wherever to eat, and they used to be spread around the whole country, so the people couldn't live properly. So they started forcing the boars into specific places, specific jungles, and cutting down all their plantations. And that's where the word concentration camps came from, because they were being concentrated in population, in numbers, inside specific areas. Now you are being locked inside specific grids, because by use of transportation, because hey, your car can't go outside of this line, there it shuts down by the tap of a button. That's how you will be targeted in terms of location and transportation. So that's basically a creation of concentration camp. People will be concentrated inside a specific area.
Okay, and about animals, what do you think about extinction? The way they are getting extinct and
animals
extinct.
Don't matter anymore. You
do they?
Yes, they do.
To talk about yourself. What about the extinction?
We can't do anything about them. We can't even control our situation right now if we don't take action soon.
Because elephants, tigers, they are going to be extinct soon.
Soon enough, because it's almost in a age where after some years the possibility is that we are also going to be extinct.
Elephants, yeah, I know that. Elephants are not meant to be carrying load on their back.
Yes, because they have a rib, not a seat.
Yeah, and when their rib,
Gets damaged
yes,
because
they
of
are left
continuous.
alone. They are abandoned in forests
Yes.
or places to die.
Yes, yes.
How sad.
Yes, my condolences.
My too.
Climate change, carbon currency. Corporations, companies, production. Yes. It will be another new thing that will be introduced after the CBDCs, which will basically put you into the position of not being able to buy things that will emit carbon, and you will be limited to buying certain things by carbon currencies, which is basically 30 carbon currencies. Example, 30 carbon currencies will let you buy a hot dog, which results in only that much amount of carbon being emitted in the world. So that will result in a carbon emission balance, but this will lead to mass control. And this can be used in numerous ways. It can be like, first they'll start it out like it's a concern to them, and slowly they will use it to control you. That's another thing. And now we can go up to your health and how it's already in control. The pharmaceutical
I
standards.
think that the medicines are fake. Like they heal us or make us feel good for some time, but they are internally damaging us.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. Medicines don't heal us; they just mask the problems, and after some time, when their effects
So
fall
that we
off,
keep buying them and the money
yes,
keeps flowing.
yes, that's what it is. Big Pharma is a company, not. They provide treatment, not cure. They can treat you for life, but they can cure you only once. That's why cures are eradicated, and treatment is what's going on. Everywhere you are being treated. Chemistry has two sides, acidity and alkalinity. Acidity promotes cellular reconstruction, alkalinity promotes cellular reconstruction, and everything that you eat nowadays is acidic. All medicines are petroleum based, which are acidic. And here's the thing, all medicinal standards, pharmaceutical standards are being laid down by who? And the who is controlled by these people, because they are the ones funding who.
What do you think about herbs that were used in the old times? Were they the actual cure?
Yes, they are the cure, and they are around right now, as of
But
now.
they are like in
The
hidden
knowledge
where
is
tribal people live. They use herbs. They do not use medicines. The world is exposed to artificial herbs which they sell in packets.
no, a lot of natural things are also going around, and it was all started by the revolution. It was all started by Dr. Sebi in his revolutionary movement of letting people know about alkaline side of chemistry and curing a lot of people. So herbs are around, and a lot of spiritual gurus are also getting into it, and so there is still hope about it. They are controlling your medicines, they are controlling the food you eat, the food standards, all food companies that produce food, because most of the food that you eat nowadays are processed. So the companies that produce food are made to uh, comply to certain standards, and those standards are also being set by these people. So basically your whole eating thing is messed up, and you're not getting anywhere with that. tap water. Your water is treated in plants with fluorine, and fluorine is, first of all,
Yeah.
it's acidic. Second of all, it binds to light metals and it strips them off. No, it does not even strips you of them. It binds and stays inside your body, toxifying your body and killing you from within. That's why Teflon products are killing you, and all those non-stick pans, non-stick pots, all of that is killing you.
Therefore,
Now,
you insisted on using that iron.
yes, aluminium is killing you. Aluminium binds strongly with fluorine. It holds it inside the body, so
I know that.
aluminium is also killing you. And then another thing is the estrogenic content of the water due to birth control pills. That is also killing you. You know about that, or should I go on?
I know about
Or
that.
so that is how men's testosterone levels are going down, and the processed foods is messing with women's hormones. That's why period pain is so prevalent nowadays. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a thing. And now the thing that you apply onto your body, onto your skin, lotions, nail polish, uh, oil, all of those things are filled with preservatives and chemicals that you can't even smell. Those things are again hormone disruptors, causing you to have abnormal conditions inside your body. And this goes on and on. Physically, people are being controlled emotionally by TV. TVs are what are controlling
Good thing
people,
we don't have one.
because people watch news and they trust their soul on the news channels, and the news channels are controlled by these people. And whatever they say, the news channels will preach. And whatever the news channels will preach, the people will follow, because they trust their souls with the news channels. And the news channels keep you distracted from the real world events that are happening. And whoever dares to speak up towards
They are
them,
killed.
they are either killed or slandered by name, by family, by everything. Example, Andrew Tate, and the list goes on. I can't remember.
I know.
And so they are coming for you, and now your role and
That's
responsibility.
what I'm afraid of. If you continue this, what will
Mentally,
happen to you?
people are emotionally encouraged. People are mentally, emotionally encouraged, so they are made to think emotionally, which will lead them to uh, getting emotionally manipulated by the news channels. So they'll be reliant on the news channels for their knowledge, their beliefs, their concepts, control. Relatives, their people nowadays are basically despising family. If we have no unity, tribes are being broken now, and now when you have a broke nation, people need someone to feel close to. And whom will you feel close to? Somebody who speaks in your favor. But how do you know what your favor is? And you will know that only by the news channels. So again, control. Your relations are down. Financially, you are controlled, because here comes CBDCs. So finances down.
Not visible.
And physically, there is something that is called, oh, you are fat phobic. And so, since you're fat phobic, we have to cure that. And there comes medicines, and you are advised not to go to the gym, not to work out, not to stay healthy, and keep eating shit, do as you feel like. Again, emotional encouragement. And so the whole existence of yours is annihilated.